Welcome, Breanna Sue, and we're going to begin right away with questions. We're going to start in the front row center.
Nick Hamilton, Nightcast Media. There's a question for both of you, for Sue and Breanna. Sue, obviously this being your final All-Star game, what is the best advice that you've gotten over the course of your career? And Breanna, what were you able to tell Sue as far as advice goes, for you guys to be able to have that cohesiveness that you have on your respective team?
You mean advice for All-Star games?
All-Star games, just years
I'm like,
in
there's
the
really
league.
not much advice for All-Star games. It's like,
Years in
just
the
go
league.
out there and do what you do. Or actually, I mean, the WNBA will hate me for this, but it's like whatever time they say to be downstairs, add 15. Add 15 minutes. Sorry, Bonnie.
Breanna, what have you learned from Sue specifically that will enable you to move forward in your career?
I've learned a lot from Sue. I think that just the way she handles and prepares herself on and off the court, ultimate competitor, just a lot to take with as I continue on. And right now, we just appreciate these moments that we have.
Next question to your right, second row.
James K., Chicago Tribune. Sue, what was that moment like on the court as you were checking out for the last time? Just Chicago erupting for you, and does it? And like, just a second question, like, has it hit you now that things are starting to come to a close?
That moment was really special. James actually came over to me at some point as the fourth quarter was starting, like, hey, do you want to go back in? I was like, do what you need to do to win the game. Don't worry about me. But he was like, no, like, let me put you back in. This way I can take you out. And I was like, oh, I see what you're doing here. So that was really considerate of him to think of me. And it was a really nice moment to share with the crowd, with the, other players. As far as it sinking in, I mean, to be honest, I think the minute the words came out of my mouth, a couple weeks ago, I've really felt at peace with everything. There are definitely moments where I get a little emotional or sad because I know it's the end of something, but I'm also really excited to start my next life. So I'm just trying to enjoy it, soak it all in, all the cliches you can think of, and then we'll see what happens next. No problem.
Next question, third row center.
Cassandra Negley with Yahoo Sports. Sue, what is the significance behind coming out of the locker room together with those Griner shirts versus, say, starting the game with them?
Yeah, I mean, either way you look at it, we just wanted to make sure at some point that we were able to, on national television, obviously in front of a sold out crowd, put Brittney's name in the forefront. And that was our way of honoring her, our way of, hopefully at some point she sees a picture or something and letting her know that she is always, on our minds and on our hearts. But it's also a way to have other people, see her name. Maybe someone turned on the TV and doesn't know about the story and is like, oh, why are they all wearing the same jersey number? And in those moments, it brings awareness. And what that does is it constantly reminds the Biden administration that we're supporting them, and whatever they need to do to get Brittney home, we're behind them.
Next question will come third row to your left.
Just to piggyback off of that, has all of the outpouring of support make retiring any more difficult? And do you have any plans to stick around with the W? And what do you think about next?
No, it doesn't make it more difficult. It's actually just a nice feeling. I just said this earlier. The word I'm landing on is maybe a little bit of closure, right? I think as an athlete, when you come to the end of your career, so much goes into the decision to actually retire. So the way people have reacted and these little moments I get both in Seattle and on the road, I know it's the right timing for me, but it gives it a little like, okay, this is gonna be all right. Like everyone's getting their moment too, that we can kind of share. And I don't know what's next. I mean, there's stuff planned, but we'll see.
To your right in the first row.
Nancy Armour, USA Today. Breanna, how did Ruby like her first All-Star game? And what was behind the thinking of having her sit on the bench with you?
I think Ruby loved her first All-Star game. She got one of those little balls, and that's been in her mouth since she got it. But no, All-Star game is a game to just have fun and celebrate, and I wanted to bring her on the bench because she's always a good vibe. She always makes everybody a little bit happier, and I think she wanted to crawl. She wanted to go on the court, but we couldn't
Should
do
have
that.
let her.
I know.
That was hilarious.
Next question will come from Zoom. Willie, go ahead. Willie Ramirez.
Thank you. Willie Ramirez from the Associated Press. For Sue, I got two questions, if I may. When you were here in Vegas, we talked a little bit about Kelsey Plump, or a story I was working on. And I'm just curious, because one of the things you had said is she's so hungry and you can always count on her going after it. You couldn't have been too surprised about her performance today. If you could just comment on how she sort of just went after it.
Yeah. So we were actually flying when the draft that Stewie and Asia did got aired. So I actually didn't see the draft live, but when I saw kind of the order, and I was like, dang, Stewie, you should have taken Plum. I was like, Plum needed to go first, because you just knew Plum was going to come in this game, and like you just said, be super hungry. That's just who she is, and I think she's in a great place physically, mentally. Things are starting to click for her, and she's the type of player. And I got to see this firsthand at Washington, at the University of Washington. When she has her confidence, it's really tough to stop her, and that's what you're seeing right now, just a really confident player.
And lastly, 2 of the last 3 years have been very poignant in the dub, in the bubble with the Say Her Name campaign, and obviously right now with the message for Brittney Griner. How proud are you, number one, but also of sort of going out with such strong statements, going out in your career and with such strong statements for the W?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely sit here and talk about our league. I'm sure everyone in here has heard me speak about the fact that we learned that, strength in numbers is big for us in terms of the volume of our voice. When 144 players are, I guess, attacking the same issue at the same time, that's when we see results. But I think for me personally, what's been really amazing about the last couple of years is I think back on my career, and I definitely was part of a shut up and dribble generation where that's what we did. We didn't complain too much. We didn't talk about things too much because we were scared to, or it was kind of the vibe. We understood the vibe. It was like an unspoken vibe, but it was there. Even coming out as gay, that's like not something I would have done in the early part of my career, because, oh, what does that mean? And so I'm just really proud for two reasons. One, that we have found our strength in our voice. And I'm just proud that I got to be a small part of it at the end of my career.
Next question to your left, second row.
Akeem Balen, BeyondTheW.com. Someone, there's one for Sue and one for Stewie. Someone had asked Sylvia about her post-career plans. I was just wondering, what's your post-career plans, especially with this being your last All-Star? And for Stewie, is this kind of a moment in your career where you're sort of thinking, okay, advancing into a post-Sue career as far as really being a standard bearer for the W?
She's already doing that. For me, I kind of brush by the last question. I can't imagine I'm not involved in the world of basketball, specifically the WNBA. I don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but I can't imagine that I'm not. I do have other things that I've already started to do, whether it's working with together and being more involved. The Peyton's Places is I'll be doing a version of that, the basketball side of it. So there's little things that are on my schedule, and it's kind of, I think, going to work out great because I'll have something to look forward to, but also time to myself to maybe detox a little bit and to maybe think about what I actually want to do in, what will be my next life.
I'm not really looking forward to thinking about post-Sue career. I feel like maybe I'm just trying to convince her to come back again. I'll just keep trying. We'll see what happens. But no, I think
if you chant right now. No, I'm kidding.
One more year. No, I mean, everything that Sue has done, I will just try and continue that and carry it on. The way she has continued to elevate and uplift our sport, always striving for more and to be better. Those are the main things. Obviously the skill speaks for itself, but to make this league better for the next generation and the next generation like she did for us.
All right, we have time for two more questions, one via Zoom. Gabriella, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to ask a little bit about the union, the WNBPA, and how that's affected the We Are BG campaign. And both of you guys are on leadership positions there. I was just wondering if you could speak a little bit about the strength of the union over these past couple months in getting BG home?
I mean, I think ever since really everybody found out about BG being wrongfully detained, the union was there to step right in and be a major facilitator for us to, you know, use our platform, use our voice, do as much as we can, make sure the petition is out there, and at the same time send a strong message. I think that, you know, they're the ones that are coordinating with most of us, whether it's the t-shirts or the QR code or the like I said, the petition. And you know, we're all in this fight together to bring her home. And I think that, you know, when you have, like Sue said earlier, those strength in numbers, it makes a bigger splash, and we get attention, and we're getting people's attention, and we need to continue to ask President Biden and the White House to bring her home.
And our last question in the back standing.
Hi, Sue. Stephen Gardner from Nuts and Bolts. So you're one of the best point guards in general to grace the hardwood, and kind of being around so many other talents in All-Star Weekend. Can you name some of the other younger guards that either catch your eye for something specific or just whose game you appreciate, you know, as well?
Yeah, I mean, where to begin? I think today's game showcased a lot of the talent at the guard spot. You know, on our roster, one of my favorite players in the league is Arike. I've said that before. I think she's just so exciting. There's so much potential there, and she's really just getting started in a lot of ways. You know, then you take a player like Plum, Sabrina. They, what I like about their stories is I don't think the starts of their career, totally different starts, but they didn't start the way they wanted to, but yet they found ways to improve, found ways to turn it around. And I think that can be, that's one of the hardest things to do, right? When things aren't going your way, but you find a way to turn it around. So I've been so impressed with those two players. Kalia Copper is so exciting to watch. I mean, literally you could go down all the guards. Ryan Howard obviously has an amazing future. Again, the best part about all of these players is they're like 26 and younger. And I can tell you now, like, you should just, it's only going to get better. You're only going to get smarter. You're only going to get, you know, more skilled. You're going to work on things. So when they enter their prime, which you can argue is probably 28 and up, they're going to be even that much more exciting to watch. So I keep saying this, but I'm looking forward to being a fan, because I will have played against these players and I'll kind of understand what it is, but I'll also get to watch them grow and see how they succeed.
Breanna, Sue, thank you. To our
Thank
media,
you.
thank you everybody for being here.